Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Not a great series for the Baltimore Orioles. Milwaukee Brewers in town, and first two games of the series went to the Brewers. Pretty much a blowout, both games. Pretty much. I think it was a blowout, both games. Luckily, Orioles picking themselves up as they do so often, able to not get swept, win the final game of the series. So that record is still intact, or that achievement. I don't think it's a record yet. So several more series before, they take over for, tops in not being swept. All right, as you can see, I'm on MassonSports.com. We'll get to the first game here. Friday's game at Camden Yards. Milwaukee Brewers 11, Baltimore Orioles 1. Part of really why the Orioles did not perform well, it's not even just that they didn't hit. They didn't pitch, and they didn't pitch very well, and fielding was questionable at times. Take a look at the lineup here. There is a name missing. Finally, gave the man a day off. Just need to work Gunnar Henderson in there and get a day off sometime. Because Gunnar Henderson 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Colton Cowser, somebody you don't need to give a break right now. 2 for 3 with an RBI, also worked a walk and scored once. Santander 0 for 3. Arias pinch hit late, 1 for 1. It's really, hopefully he can continue to do this, because this is something that Ramon Arias is going to have to do all season. Get one at bat, one start a week, maybe see some more pinch hitting spots if he can prove that he can come through. Ryno 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Cedric Mullins 1 for 3, did strike out twice. Mateo came in late. Righty batter versus lefty batter kind of thing there. 0 for 1 from Mateo. Jordan Westburg 1 for 4, another 2 strikeouts. Austin Hayes 0 for 1, struck out once. Jackson Holiday 0 for 3, struck out 3 times. James McCann 1 for 3, struck out once. 14 strikeouts total. It's more than half the outs by a strikeout. That's not going to get it done, man. Really not. You got to put the ball in play a little more than that. Cowser, double. Also, the only other extra base hit by Cowser, home run. Again, that's why you don't need to give that man a day off. Westburg stole his second base of the year. Henderson, throwing error. It did allow the runner to move up, but that runner didn't end up scoring. So while, yes, this was a fielding blunder, it didn't lead to one of the runs. Tyler Wells got to start in this one. Not off to a great start this year for Tyler Wells. 4 innings pitched in this one. Gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk. Struck out 3. Not a good line at all there. Jonathan Heasley, long man, coming in to get 2 innings of work. Not a good line for him either. Worse line in less innings. Heasley gives up 7 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, does strike out 2. Dylan Tate, nice to see Tate can come out of the pen, not having pitched much over the past few years. And, one of these episodes I'll stop mentioning that Tate hasn't pitched a lot in the last few years. Gives 2 strong innings out of the bullpen. Tate isn't really a long guy. He can throw multiple innings. It does kind of depend on how many pitches. But as you can see here, mostly zeros where it really counts. No hits, no runs. Did walk a batter, but you'll take that, especially when you don't give up any hits or any runs. Struck one out in those 2 innings. Jacob Webb, a little bit of a down performance for Jacob Webb. 1 inning pitched, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, and 1 walk. As you can see, not only did the bats not get going in this game, but it just couldn't stop giving up runs. Just couldn't stop. 1, 2, 3. 3 home runs by the Milwaukee Brewers in that one. Right? Yeah. Come to game 2. Bats woke up a little bit for the Orioles. Milwaukee Brewers 11. Baltimore Orioles 5. Orioles jumped out to the quick lead here. First innings, putting 3 runs on the board. Pitching let them down a little bit. And a little bit of defense letting them down. Henderson 1 for 5 with an RBI. Rutschman DHing in this one, 2 for 5 with an RBI. Also scored twice, but struck out twice. Adley striking out a little too much more than we would prefer. Much more than we're used to as well. We're not used to Adley Rutschman striking out this much. Mountcastle 2 for 4 with an RBI, scored a run, also worked a walk. Santander 0 for 3, did score a run because he worked a walk. Westberg, another former prospect, cementing himself as a major leaguer. 3 for 5, 2 RBIs, scored once. Austin Hayes, finally Hayes gets another hit, 1 for 3. Mullins, pinch hitting late. Again, Hayes, right-handed batter. Mullins, left-handed batter. It's nothing like there's no injury to report there. Mullins 1 for 1. Cool. Cowser actually got to start in center field in this one because, Mullins got the day off initially. Moved over to left field when Mullins came in the game for Hayes. Cowser 1 for 4, scored once. James McCann 0 for 4. Jorge Mateo 1 for 4. Only 10 strikeouts in this one. Home runs. Mountcastle, Rutschman, and Westberg. Home runs. Good to see that. Cowser stole the base. Henderson actually got picked off. Two fielding errors, one by Mateo, one by Hayes. Gonna happen. Especially now that Hayes doesn't play as much as he used to. It is a stranger for him not being in the lineup and being out in left field every day. I expected him to make some mistakes. Because he's looking around like, I don't know what's going on. This feeling is strange. Mateo, really the same thing. I mean, he's not getting regular playing time. Yes, you do want to make good on the few opportunities you get. But expect Mateo, new position, not getting as much playing time. He's going to have some errors. Though, when I saw the play, I wasn't so sure it should have been an error by Mateo. It was a shot back up the middle. I don't know that I would have necessarily given him an error on it. I think it was a very tough play to make, but that's just my opinion. I think more why it was an error. Really, I think why it was at least the why the official scorekeeper labels it an error is because it did allow runs to score. Though at the same time, I'm saying it was a very tough play to make. Dean Kramer gets a start in this one. Not really any better than, I forgot his name. Tyler Wells. Kramer only goes 4 innings. Not good to have back-to-back starts of only 4 innings by your starting pitchers. That's not good. Real strain on the bullpen. Though, did get some relief out there in the bullpen Talk about that in a few seconds. So Kramer, 4 innings pitched, 10 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned. Again, that is probably more why it was called an error. Only walked 1, which is good. That's a good thing. At least you're not missing the strike zone, I guess. Only 3 strikeouts. Of course, he only pitched 4 innings, so you expect the strikeout total to be a little low. Keegan Aiken comes in and pitches 1 2/3 of an inning. Another solid performance by Keegan Aiken. So gets 5 outs, only gives up the 1 hit, no runs, no walks, strikes out 1. New name out there in the bullpen, Mr. Ramirez. Johan Ramirez with a Y. And I assume I'm pronouncing this correctly. Pitches another 1 2/3 of an inning. The theme here this night for all the bullpen arms. Pitching 1 2/3 of an inning. Weird. But okay. So Mr. Ramirez in his debut with the Baltimore Orioles gives up 1 hit, 2 runs. Does walk a batter. Does strike 2 out. So you don't really like giving up the runs, but 2 strikeouts when you only got 5 outs. That's, yeah. There's some potential there. The Orioles picked him up. The Mets, what did they release him? DFA'd him, put him on waivers or something goofy like that. Go to this article here by Rock Kubatka. What does he call it? Acquired from the Mets for cash considerations. Doesn't exactly say why. Okay, so it looks like a straight up trade then. Okay. So the Mets much rather would have had the cash over having Johan Ramirez. Okay. I'll give you some cash if you let me have the pitcher. Hopefully we can bring this number down. And at the same time keeping this number the same because it's pretty good. And to a certain extent, everything I'm hearing and everything I'm seeing, the Milwaukee Brewers lineup is pretty potent. So, may not see anything else like this from Johan Ramirez because the Orioles had a tough opponent come into town. Mike Baumann comes in next, and as I said, the theme 1 2/3 of an inning. Does give up 3 hits. Only gives up 1 run, which is, I mean, at this point, it's fine. 1 run's not going to kill us. It was, the 8 that Kramer let go. Though you didn't really want your bullpen giving up 3 runs in less than 3 innings pitched. Or no, it was 3 innings pitched. 3 innings pitched. So a run an inning isn't terrible. What really makes it terrible is you didn't feel that well and you weren't hitting that well. All right, the bright spot of the weekend. Game 3, it wasn't even a rubber match. It was the do or die game. Milwaukee Brewers 4, Baltimore Orioles 6. Tried to give it up. Gunnar Henderson 2 for 3 with an RBI and scored a run. Adley Rutschman 1 for 4. Santander 0 for 4. Did Santander have a hit this whole series? No. Didn't have a hit. Only got 1 walk. That was it. That's what I'm saying, where I think some guys just need more time off than what they're given. I think part of the issue is if all these other guys that they want to get in there at DH, like an O'Hearn or a Rutschman, because God forbid you leave Adley Rutschman out of the lineup for 1 damn game. It means less opportunities to keep Santander's bat in the lineup, which means if you want him in the lineup, he's got to play right field, which running around the outfield, it can make you tired. So I definitely think Santander does need a few days off. Though, see, you got Mullins a day off in this series. You got Rutschman a day off in this series. I think in this upcoming series the Orioles are going to play, you can give Santander 1 day off. Hayes comes in late for a defensive replacement because that's really his role now. It's kind of sad. Ryan O'Hearn, well, this is why you want O'Hearn to have DH opportunities. 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, also scored once. Arias is a righty. O'Hearn is a lefty. That's why you see Arias pinch hitting here. 1 for 1. You really get 2 pinch hits this series? Yeah, I like it. Well, it was game 1, wasn't it? Yeah, see? Pinch hit. You got a hit here in Friday's game. Did the same thing in Sunday's game. I don't remember what day it was. And with that, here comes Mateo to run for him. And I think it was, Mountcastle grounds into a double play. I was like, well, a wasted opportunity. You see Mountcastle 0 for 4. Also somebody that hasn't had that much rest. Colton Cowser, the milkman. I call him milkman because his last name, first 3 letters are cow. Doesn't seem to need a day off at all. 1 for 3. Worked the walk, scored a run, drove 1 in. Cedric Mullins, 2 for 4. Drove 1 in and scored 1 himself. Jordan Westberg, 1 for 3. Did work a walk and scored once. No RBI for Mr. Westberg. Oh well. Yay! It is a holiday. Everybody celebrate. Mr. Jackson Holiday. Why am I calling him Mr.? He's still a child. He can't even buy his own beer. Hopefully his dad will buy him a beer for his first major league hit. 1 for 4. Yeah, I mean, it's not a great line. 1 for 4, scored 1, struck out twice. But you got the first hit out of the way. And he did display some very good base running. Went first to third on a hit. And that 1 run he scored was technically the winning run. Cowser actually hit a home run late or later on in the game for some insurance in the 8th inning, right? Yeah. One of these number 2s here, right? That was Jackson Holiday taking the lead for the Orioles. Looks very fast out there on the base pass. It was, I don't know about the slide. I mean, it made it, I honestly think his slide made it a little closer than it should have been. I think if he dove head first in, it would have looked a lot. If he dives head first, the play doesn't look close at third. But he went in feet first, a little pop-up thing, and it made it kind of look close. But it really wasn't close. Mullins a double. Mullins also a home run. O'Hearn and Cowser also with home runs. So, yeah, bats finally woke up in this one. Henderson stolen base. Burns throwing error. Yes, that's right. Corbin Burns, the stopper. That's what they call your ace when you're losing few games in a row. Your ace comes out and wins the game for you and stops the losing streak. Stopper. Not the greatest game for Corbin Burns, but honestly, it's not that bad of a line. You'll take this. Goes 5 innings. Does give up 6 hits, which is a little high. Gives up 3 runs. Only 2 of them earned. Walks 2, strikes out 5. But as you can see, that 1 unearned run is because of a Burns throwing error. I understand because it wasn't the pitching that let you down, so it wasn't the pitching that allowed the run to score. It was the fielding. Of course, why that doesn't hurt a pitcher's ERA, it's debatable because, it's not the pitcher doing it, really. It's the other fielders out there not coming through for the pitcher, except the fielder in this case was the pitcher. That's why I just don't, I'll never understand that. It should be an earned run because you made the error, not your shortstop. You did, the pitcher. However, Jacob Webb pitches the 6th inning, does give up the 2 hits, but no runs, no walks, didn't strike anybody out. But again, the no runs is the key there. Yanier Cano comes in for the 7th inning, does go 1 1/3 of an inning. Slightly odd that Brandon Hyde did that, though. Even with 1 1/3 innings, Cano only threw 22 pitches. So there's that. Downside is Cano gives up 2 hits and 1 run. How did they get the run? I don't even remember. 1 run was a home run by Mr. Perkins. Disappointing, though at the same time, it's a little different spot for Cano because it was a little early and the Orioles didn't have a lead. As you can see here, Cano gets the credit for the win. Danny Coulomb comes in relief of Cano. Coulomb gets the last 2 outs in the 8th inning. Same old Danny Coulomb. No hits, no runs, no walks. Strikes out 1. And then here we go. Mr. Kimbrell, Craig Kimbrell, in for his 3rd save of the year. Pitches the 9th inning. Does give up 2 hits, which we're not that happy about. Though they were, relatively weak contact type of hits. So, bloops, if you will. But no runs, no walks by Mr. Kimbrell. Strikes out the side. Somebody called him old and washed up. All right. Okay. I mean, an old, washed-up closer is going to take a young offense like this and strike out the side in the 9th inning with the game on the line? Okay. Yeah, man, he's old and washed up. We'll see what the rest of the season holds for Mr. Kimbrell, but I'm not seeing a closer that's old and washed up. I'm just not. Has he lost some velocity? Sure. Has he lost accuracy? It doesn't look like he's lost accuracy. All right. I think usually I would go over a few articles and, I wasn't going to show any because there's really nothing. Though I did kind of forget about that Ramirez thing going on. But, I did see a few things. And I think Rakabaku, I also heard it on the broadcast as well, that Means and Bradish are continuing to do their rehab assignments. As of this point, there is no word that there's been any setbacks. I think last show I said that Bradish actually hadn't started. He was scheduled to start, but whether Bradish has thrown rehab assignments. So, again, both of these guys have been using their arm, throwing a baseball. No reported setbacks or pain in the arm of any kind. So, as of right now, Means and Bradish are on their way to come back. Means most likely before Bradish. Alright, so let's get to the upcoming schedule. Wrap this show up and get out of here. Make sure this gets out before the game starts. As you can see, Minnesota Twins are coming into town. Be a 3-game series. Monday's game scheduled for 6:35. Tuesday's game also scheduled for 6:35. Yay, some consistency with start times. And Wednesday's game scheduled to start at 1:05. Yes, this is inconsistent. Depends on how you look at it. The reason why, and you can see with a lot of these series, the last game of the series is usually scheduled as a day game, which they haven't always done. They're doing it more now because of the way that the schedule got all kind of wonkiness because the Astros moved from the National League to the American League, and they've been doing this so to try to help with the travel time. More of a noontime game, you can get out of the town early and get onto the next location sooner, get to bed sooner, get your rest sooner, and hopefully be fresher for the next game. At least that's the idea anyway. And as you can see, there will be a scheduled off day Thursday for the Baltimore Orioles, so look for the next edition of Ryno's Orioles Report to be this coming Thursday. It's going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.